Hello, this is Piyush. Today we'll be discussing about the problems with HDFC Bank in January 2022. Before we go there, a little bit of introduction of myself. I have been invested in HDFC Bank for more than 6 years now, and I have been studying the Indian stock market for more than 10 years. With that little intro, let me discuss the main points. All right, let's begin. If you've observed HDFC Bank for the past 1 year, you've seen that they've given minimal returns as compared to the market. So I think for 2021 they returned 3 to 4%, which is really meager for an outstanding bank like HDFC. So is this a new normal that we should be expecting out of HDFC now, or is this a outlier performance? And I think this is just an outlier one-off thing that has happened. And what are the main reasons behind this underperformance? So let's see. I think for 2021, HDFC Bank was mired with issues. There were a lot of issues related to digital outages in their online banking platform, and the outages were so high that RBI had to step in and ask HDFC to fix these outages, fix their online platform, and also they stopped HDFC from issuing new credit cards, which is such an important business for HDFC. So HDFC, as you guys may know, HDFC Bank is the largest issuer of credit cards in India. They have, I think, 26 to 27% of all credit cards in India, and stopping them from issuing new credit cards really hurt their business. And I think it was like an 8 to 9 month ban in 21 where they rehauled their entire online architecture and have made it more scalable, is what I think. Uh, will these issues stop in the future? Nobody knows. But this was one of the major reasons, I think, for the underperformance of HDFC Bank. And I think this happened to HDFC Bank alone because the scale at which HDFC Bank operates is way more than ICICI or Axis or any other top bank in India today, right? So whatever has happened with HDFC Bank in their online platform can happen tomorrow to any other banking platform or fintech platform which scales to HDFC's level, right? So it's not a one-off case in the banking atmosphere. You might see the same stuff happen to other banks. But I hope that HDFC has improved. They have definitely invested a lot on their online infrastructure. So I hope that the improvement stays with them and the business is run as usual from here on. The second reason I think HDFC Bank has struggled is loan restructuring. So a lot of loans have been restructured across banks, so it's not just HDFC which has restructured them, but the quantity of loans that HDFC Bank has restructured is high. At least that's what the market thinks. The reason for such high restructuring is again because HDFC is more exposed to retail loans, and there is an impact of COVID in on the job market in India, right? So there is a lot of job loss, and a lot of people could not repay their loans on time, and HDFC has offered them to restructure their loans, which basically means extend the timeline for repayment of their loans. So the market has not liked this development from HDFC Bank. They have not taken well in the price for this loan restructuring. So what I think is every other bank is also doing restructuring, some more than others. Some were more exposed to retail and COVID impact than others. But if you look at the track record, I think HDFC is most honest with their numbers, and whatever restructuring they have told on the books and whatever NPAs that they have recorded or shown or predicted for the next year, I think I trust more in HDFC Bank than other banks, right? I don't think this is going to be a one bank problem. COVID was across sectors across India. It had a very huge impact, right? So loan restructuring, obviously the numbers are high because HDFC has a larger loan book than any other bank, percentage wise and in absolute numbers. So yeah, I don't think loan restructuring should have been so majorly looked down upon, but that is what has happened in case of HDFC Bank and in the price action. The third reason I think is loan book growth, right? So for loan book growth, I think the sales or loan book growth for 2021 did not increase as per expectations of the street. Other banks gave away loans very easily, and the street has not liked this development. But I think again, historically, HDFC is a much more conservative bank than many of other banks, many other larger banks in India. So the sales growth or loan book growth should not be taken as a very big hindrance in HDFC Bank's growth. They are just being very cautious with their risk impact right now. They're looking at restructuring, they're looking at provisions, and then they're looking at sales. So if they feel that the risk mix is good enough right now, only then are they extending their loan book growth. So I think these were the three main reasons why HDFC Bank did not grow as expected in 2021. Uh, but there is always a but in the HDFC Bank story. I would like to get your attention to a few points for HDFC Bank in the future. Always remember that in 2008 global financial crisis, there was also a crisis in Indian market where Indian banks were more exposed to infrastructure, more exposed than they should be, and then there was a huge market collapse due to the banking overexposure to infrastructure. And the first banks to come out of that entire collapse was HDFC Bank, and that was because they did not over aggressively sell out or give out loans to the infrastructure companies. And I think this is what is exactly happened in the COVID time as well. I think other banks have again aggressively given out loans to either SMEs or retail loan book. Everything has grown exponentially in the past year, and that is why people are expecting other banks to outperform HDFC Bank. But HDFC has a very conservative way of giving away money when there is a lot of liquidity in the market and there is a lot of hope in the market, right? So it follows Buffett's principle of be conservative when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are conservative, right? So that's one of the reasons I would like you to stay invested if you are already invested in HDFC Bank. The other good thing that I would like to point your attention to is it has best in class credit cards. I don't think anybody has come even close to attempting uh, to match the suit of HDFC Bank. So it's not one of those things that can be easily matched. Uh, HDFC has a large suite of credit cards, and which are very profitable for the bank. So I think this will stay for a long time. The another reason is leadership. I think HDFC Bank has proven their leadership. Other private sector banks' leadership has rehauled, and they need that leadership needs to prove a point. And I also like the strategy for HDFC Bank where they are more intertwined with government initiatives, ESG, and other long-term initiatives, which I don't see in other annual shareholder or annual reports. So I think the leadership and strategy is much more aligned to India's growth story, and I trust their leadership and their strategy over other banks for now. And another is the digital ecosystem. Again, there were a lot of digital failures, but given the fact that HDFC has such a powerful ecosystem already in place, I don't think that the fintech space can cause any disruptions as people are expecting from the fintech space in India, because the banks already have a lot of fintech exposure, and the smart loan growth is very high in HDFC Bank, or has been very high in HDFC Bank for a long time, right? So it's not going to be as disruptive as people think in China or in US, right? Where the banking system itself is not so robust. So fintechs come in and disrupt the market. Here, smart EMIs and easy personal loans through app or through website have been the standard for HDFC Bank at least. So yeah, I think that is my analysis, and obviously this is not an input to go and buy. So please do not influence your buying decisions through my commentary. Always go ahead and have a chat with your wealth advisor before you make any investments. But I am exposed to HDFC Bank, and I will stay invested in HDFC Bank for 2022, and I think this is going to be one of the outperformers for 2022. Thank you.